UI design is the best skill to have. I'm serious. Being a great designer right now is basically a superpower. AI is overtaking junior development roles, marketing, product management, or just office people doing God knows what. And at the same time, UI design in the US is growing 7% per year. That is way above the 2 to 3% industry average. So why is design the future? A late 2025 study called the Remote Labor Index tested AI agents on 240 real freelance projects from game development, product design, architecture, and data visualization. The test was run on freelance portals like Upwork, and it was about the actual work that humans pay for. The best AI agents in the mix had a success rate of only 2.5%. Which means that they can do some parts of the work, but when they're faced with some creative decision and creative problem solving, they fail spectacularly. And UX design is the most problem solving of all of these industries. So no wonder AI struggled with design the most. Designers have taste, curiosity, empathy, and the ability to see some patterns and then figure out how to best break them. AI can assemble boxes on a screen. It can generate dashboards. It can build, manage, and maintain design systems. And that part in particular is annoying a lot of the non-designer assembler people, because they want to really feel safe that they've put years of their life learning some Figma shortcuts. I don't think that kind of design, the assembly systemic kind, has much of a future. But that's not really design in the first place. Maintenance of components is mostly engineering. And all those engineering jobs are getting replaced or greatly automated, so we don't need as many people for that anymore, but design is doing great.
Keep it OCP. Hotter than wasabi. Too spicy. Drop a PIC. Now I'm trending on IG. Yeah.
Assembling things from pre-made components can solve some simple problems with the same patterns over and over. It's recycling ideas on how to get from a problem to solution, taking something that's tried and true and tested, and then just applying it automatically. But doing design that way cannot create an emotional connection. It can't really see what's missing, and it definitely can't inject a soul into a product. But why does a product need a soul? Well, we'll get to that. This is exciting times, and I'm really happy to bring some good news for a change. Today I'm breaking down four reasons why designers are uniquely suited to win big in the next few years. This is possibly the best job to have. Reason 1: interaction and soul. For years, products have been stuck with the same scale and hover animations, the same graphs drawing themselves and then adding that little gradient color underneath that. It's predictable, boring, and it's very systemic. Those animations are built into the design systems libraries, and they are so boring. But now, if you're a creative person, nothing is holding you back from coming up and prototyping workable, unique stuff. Like, I mean, completely unique. Just take the rules, break them, throw them out the window, throw the window out another window, and then run over that window with a train. When doing the MVP for my app, Longevity Deck, it's free on the App Store, by the way, I prompted AI first to see what it will come up with. I wanted a deck of colorful cards that you swipe through and then you swipe down to add the card to your personal deck. What AI came back with is impressive at first glance, but then when you start looking at it a little bit deeper, you realize that it's the same boring, useless, repeatable component types and styles. It's a generic, predictable carousel that you've seen a million times. So if you see it in an app again, you'll feel like, yeah, boring. But if you have the will to experiment, the curiosity, and the ability to tweak it and modify it to your liking, then you can actually do some magic. But to be able to change it, you need to know why the first carousel is boring or wrong in the first place. So I looked at it and I switched to a more precise machine language. This was part of my first prompt, before a lot of further tweaking. The 13-degree forward tilt should reach its peak at 20% of drag length. Drag release finishes with an ease out curve. Calculate the remaining curve using drag release position. Bounce level at the bottom should be proportional to when the drag gesture was released. So I generated that prototype and it was a lot better, but still nowhere near close. So I screen recorded the entire interaction and then I analyzed it frame by frame. I wanted to see what happens exactly in each millisecond of that interaction to tweak it exactly as I wanted. And that led to a lot of sub-pixel changes and little modifications, and those in turn all led to me recording this thing for like 25 different videos and then viewing every single one of them frame by frame until I was completely satisfied. This is not generating stuff with AI. This is using a tool to get to the exact moment that you want, to the exact experience, but to know when that moment arrives, you need the designer eye, you need the skill, you need to understand what is delight and what is the boring repetitive slop. And that might be why the users are saying that that app feels like it has a soul, like it has that heart and sweat and energy put into making it. It's not generated, it's made with intent. And all those little details like the borders, the shadows, the depth effects, the noise texture, the precise way the gradient is positioned on the card, these are all non-systemic, these are all unique, these are all different, tailor-made, and they bring the delight. And that contributes to the entire experience, because if you're swiping a lot of cards down into your deck, you really want that swipe animation to be super pleasant. In my other app, I added a duck that floats in the header in the direction that you tilt your phone. And 100% of the testers said that they love how unique and friendly this app feels. See, they mentioned how it feels to use a digital product. This is where we're getting at. And months after the initial batch, and I hope to release the app soon to the public, almost everybody is still using it. You don't get that kind of engagement from people if the app is just the same boring forms and components over and over. AI can predict a form or a dashboard pretty easily because this is all systemized, it's baked into a way of doing things. But a true emotional connection to a product, a digital product, an app in this case, doesn't come from anything systemic. It comes from consciously breaking the rules while not really breaking usability. So you keep the app very user-friendly, very usable, but at the same time you surprise people with something delightful on top of that. One more example and then we get to the next point. In that same duck app, if I wanted to generate a profile screen for the users, if I went with what AI proposes, it would probably be a blue and purple gradient background with a profile photo circle somewhere on it. This is what we expect AI to make because we also expect this from all the templates that's been around for years that AI learned on. This is boring. So what if instead, if the app is about cold exposure, ice bath, cold swimming, why not make a floating iceberg on the water surface that has a cutout with your face inside? And I really think that these micro interactions and unique approaches to known things, as long as they don't break the usability, are the path forward. This is what designers are best at. Breaking those rules while keeping the main, most important rules intact. And I use all of these principles while working for clients at Squareblack, and we have some exciting case studies coming soon. If you need a design, just go to squareblack.com. And we will soon be also offering much cheaper 1 hour long quick product audits. Check it out, squareblack.com. Reason number 2. Emotional conversion. Most of CRO is about getting the dollars into our accounts. All the optimization, all the dark patterns, and all the techniques and methods are there to convince some user to give us money. And I get it, sort of. Everybody wants money, but with all that chase to get that first dollar, they often forget or completely dismiss the long-term emotional value here. Because when a user feels something towards a product, they don't just buy. They become an ambassador of the brand, and they in turn bring you even more people. Plus, it feels great to talk to these people and see how they resonate with something you create. As a designer, this is one of the best feelings that I ever had when building something. The feedback coming from people using the Doc app or Longevity Deck or some of my other stuff. I call this emotional conversion. Here is an example for you. It doesn't have to be quirky in a way of like a floating iceberg or moving duck. My friend recently started a community for tinkerers, and he made a very good website. And he's a developer, not even a designer, but there is clearly a design brain somewhere in there too. And on the landing page, since most of the tinkering and self-hosting and AI chatbots and whatever happens in the terminal, he added little terminal windows with commands that are delivering the message while not really being real, but they are being written out in each terminal window as a path to a solution that you're getting from that particular functionality. And that is extremely relatable to the people that are the perfect match for the community. They are all people who work in the terminal. They like the hackery vibe. They understand that. They chuckle a bit, they nod, and then they feel like, yeah, this is exactly something for me. So whether it's this or the floating ducks, this requires empathy, research, deeper understanding of your audience, and deeper understanding of what you're trying to deliver to them. It also needs a willingness to break some of the rules, to change some of the things, and a deep, strong focus on quality every step of the way. This is not a dark pattern. This is not manipulation. It's not deceptive design. This is a true emotional bond with your users. Something that you really need the designer's mind to get. And obviously the product has to be great too. I just released the biggest update to the blueprint, all my workflows, methods, templates, and now a community where you can ask me questions. Plus, how I use agentic workflows to onboard my clients much faster and in a more streamlined way. Link in the description, go get it right now before the price changes. And reason number 3, we are being drowned in the ocean of sameness. When you look at these dashboards that I'm showing right now, can you quickly say which is for which product? You probably can't, because everything looks the same now. And it's the exact same thing with most apps, most landing pages, most products in general. And it's not even just AI. Templates, UI kits, design systems, it all led to this moment where everything looks the same and there's basically no originality anywhere in sight. AI is simply speeding up the amount of systemized slop that's being thrown at users. And there are some specific patterns that are so overused that you instantly know if something has been made with AI. And for now, these things are for us, designers, developers, founders, builders. But very soon the general public, or end users, are gonna be aware of these too, because they will be so cognitively overloaded by all that shit, then they will just feel fatigued and tired looking at another product that looks exactly the same and feels exactly the same. These are things like a box in a box with an icon, blue and purple gradient and thick type, radial gradients on a grid of boxes, 100% generated AI backgrounds that just scream slop, and dozens more. And when everything looks the same, the users get fatigued. They don't trust you as much. Your product ends up drowning in 5,000 other products that look similar. So as a designer, your advantage is being able to spot these patterns and go in a completely opposite direction. While everyone is trying to one-shot prompt their way to fast release but mediocrity, you can go in a different direction and deliver true value. AI can't do this. It needs safe, predictable patterns because it works on the next word prediction. And reason number 4, empathy and human connection. In all those templates with gradients and boxes and colorful animated blobs, there is one thing missing: a human. We naturally connect best with another person, but humans don't fit well in boxes. My prediction for the next few years is that designers should be more of a creative director kind of people, and they should guide that emotional connection, that human touch, to be completely understood by users. That requires planning and guiding photo shoots, for example. Yes, real photos, not generated photos, not stock photos. Because as users, we are kind of sick of the same boring generated soulless copy, the same blobby gradients shit, and it's kind of like being on a call center with a bot. We want a human, and we want a human now. And while generative images are getting better, nothing beats a real photo. So I'm thinking that designers, because they're empathetic and curious people, are extremely well suited for this new reality where everything is fake, plastic, and generated. We will be pushing in the other direction, and we will be bringing experiences that truly resonate with people. Because when great photos are merged with amazing storytelling, magic happens. So there you have it. It's all about the unique traits a designer has, understanding how a system works, and then breaking some of the rules to make it unique, to make it delightful, to make it emotional, functional, and then fully human. Because that will allow you to form emotional bonds. People or users, or I kind of prefer to call them people, will try to completely connect emotionally and become ambassadors of the brand, and this is the best thing to ever do. If you do it with full honesty and transparency, you're not just getting revenue, you're getting loyal fans that will push you forward. But for that, you need a designer. You won't do it with a prompt, and those that believe that they are shipping fast now because they can prompt a website into existence, let me remind you that we had WordPress templates since at least 2005. Did it actually get designers out of business because you could just buy a template and change some colors and have a website in minutes? No, because it was always slop. All those templates were garbage. And users are able to spot that kind of low-effort approaches. So designers are the best people right now to guide AI-generated things, whether it's code or assets or marketing or anything else, into something of true value, quality, and human connection. That's up to us, that's up to designers, so our future is extremely bright.